So, if you haven't heard the news a while ago, which I'm sure that you did, about Michael Keaton's Batman returning for the Flash movie, and beyond that, now the beyond part, I'm still a bit iffy about, considering that this is a different universe. Batman and the fact that he will somehow transfer over to the DCEU may not be true, especially the success that the Snyder's Cut had reached. It may be possible that they'll continue that franchise. Don't quote me on that one, but the film was pretty good, and I really enjoyed it. But I highly doubt they will find a way to make that a main Batman in that universe, especially with there being literally a Justice League in that universe. The one thing I do want to compare with that storyline is in this video, The Dark Knight Returns. That literally being one of my favorite Batman stories and one of the, I guess, most famous ones, and have a massive effect on how they introduced this version of Batman in this universe. A few years back, I did make a video talking about the quote-unquote Batman Beyond movie that was rumored to come out, but never did. That video could have used a lot more research and backing up claims instead of it just me talking about a possible movie. But I originally thought that this introduction in this universe would be Batman Beyond, since this is a very older version of Batman. But I could be wrong. This Batman killed a lot, and I mean a lot, in this universe, and was abruptly ended when Tim Burton was relieved from the project and no longer had control of making this movie come to light. But someone with a story vision and idea could actually make this happen. There's a lot with this Batman I do want to go over for the remainder of this video. This video may be one of the shorter ones. So if you haven't read nor watched the animated film The Dark Knight Returns, you are quite literally missing out. That story is by far one of my favorites, and I love it. This fits well for an ending story for the Batman and his journey. Some elements of this movie has been adapted in many different live-action movies. Two I will name just for examples: The Dark Knight Rises and Batman vs. Superman are heavily inspired off these elements, which both feature a more experienced Batman suffering with his own psyche in some way, shape, or form. In The Dark Knight Rises, we see a version of Bruce Wayne suffering from his own actions that he previously caused in the past during that time frame, while also in Batman vs. Superman, some of those elements slowly being incorporated in that similar sort of manner, where an older version of Batman who has given up hope and more, but more importantly, that entire story is a good way to explore the Batman, and I just hope that Batman Continues can do that in some way or form. Now, I'm not exactly a fan of Michael Keaton returning as Batman, and that is just because Zack Snyder's Justice League did come out, and I guess I want to see more of Affleck's Batman rather than actually see a Batman who's already past his time. Like I said earlier in the video, naturally I would expect Michael Keaton returning in his universe, and it is set in a Batman Beyond type of timeline rather than it being in the DCU, which, if you haven't noticed, is falling apart. But like I said, if they're going to do him in this universe, it would make more sense to see him as a Dark Knight Returns Batman. It's because if you have been living under a rock, despite it being nostalgic, the first two Batman films had weak character development and overall were not that great, so making him, I guess, more developed instead of him being this bland character with no real purpose or consequence as to why he's doing what he's doing in the first place, undoubtedly is the way to go. Also, what got me interested to this in the first place was Michael Keaton supposedly willing to return. After Joel Schumacher ruined the Batman franchise, Michael Keaton left and then had said he would never return to the big screens as Batman unless Tim Burton was somehow involved, and yet he agreed to come back, which is kind of cool, but also has me questioning on when or how they will extend his narrative, and in what shape or fashion will he be written. Original Batman Continues had a very unique storyline which has already been explained in other videos, but it had a very interesting plot that included Scarecrow, Robin, and Two-Face, along with the other characters, which would have been pretty interesting to see. So in some ways, Joel Schumacher did take some ideas from that vision, as you can see, and then made Batman Forever with it. Him taking Two-Face and Robin and incorporating that into the sequel, yet instead he changed Scarecrow's character with the Riddler instead. So if they do happen to find a way to have some sort of a Dark Knight Returns or even a version of the Batman Beyond film, it might make me more interested in the project, especially where the DCEU is going. Don't really see it working out that well. Hopefully they can find a way to restore the Snyderverse so it can get back on track. Another thing I do want to say in this video, which most of you or even none of you don't do, but again, these are all theories. I don't really know if they will go down this road with making a Dark Knight Returns type of story, but yet which I have already clarified. I feel this is the smartest way to go. Me personally, I don't really want to see Michael Keaton come back to the DCU because honestly, Zack Snyder is doing a decent job of that universe, in my opinion. I don't know. I guess that's just me. But yeah. Okay, so like I said in my last video, I do write and tried my hardest to make some decent content for you guys. Struggling to grow on YouTube, it's a bit tough coming up with video ideas and even giving the time to write them. So every comment, every thumbs up, all of the above is highly appreciated. While on the topic with Michael Keaton again, I feel as though they should bring him back one last time, then possibly introduce him in an entirely new or separate universe, or even, of course, nostalgic purposes. Only bring him back for this movie just to be a sort of mentor to Barry, even though it would have been much cooler to see sort of the version of the Jeffrey Dean Morgan version of Batman, since he is played as Ben Affleck's father, Thomas Wayne, in BVS. That would have been much, much more cool, but like I said, they can do what they want or feel is necessary, and I genuinely have no problem with that. I love Keaton's version of Batman, and with enough character development, he could have been possibly the best live action Batman out there. But simply, we are left with what we got, and I do appreciate Tim Burton's vision for a creative design, seeing as how good the Gotham looked. It was just absolutely captivating, to say the least, and that kind of standalone Gotham Batman feel is definitely something I hope we can see again sometime in the near future. But enough said on that. Again, like the video, subscribe to all that. If you're experiencing ads in my videos, I'm not personally monetized, but some of my videos are, and I guess I just don't collect the revenue yet. But if you can just help me out a little bit, I'd want to get to 1,000 subscribers, and watching the video until the end is much appreciated. I also do want to let you know I appreciate each and every last one of you guys, and your endless support really is what allows me to keep making videos. So thank you very much for what you've given.